Hello, welcome to part 2 of the Zan Von Zed color along. I'm hoping that this part of the color along isn't as long as the first part, since I've already done her skin and hair, which always is probably what takes me the most in any coloring page. So I went ahead and finished the rest of the mushrooms, and I think there is one mushroom that is kind of different than the other ones, and so I'm gonna have to do a different color scheme for those. I kind of didn't see this mushroom kind of hiding in the back of this page, so I think it might have been one like these mushrooms, but I thought I would just go ahead and try out the colors I want to use on this one. So it's just like a little hint of a mushroom back there. At least I think that's what it was, but it was kind of hard to tell. There's a lot going on. But yeah, I'm going to zoom you in for this little mushroom, and we'll kind of get started on that one. I'm going to start out with muted turquoise and just see how I like it. It's kind of got some ridges kind of going along the mushroom, so I thought I would just try and have fun with some pretty interesting colors on this one. So I'm just kind of following along those ridges there. Thought about just coloring this one the same as the other purple ones, but I don't know, they're a little bit different, so okay. Then I'm going to go in with Imperial Violet. I'm going to start at the bottom, be a little easier. Just wanted to incorporate like the blue and the green colors. So just going under each of those lines that I had made with the muted turquoise. And a little bit of touching up with the muted turquoise. And then I wanted to kind of bring in the green color, so I'm going to go in with gray green light and just kind of starting around on the edges, kind of working my way across. And it's not the brightest mushroom, but I still like it. I think it looks pretty cool. Actually, I think I used a different color. I think I might have used a lighter aqua color for the small portion I did up on the top here, because it looks a little bit brighter. But that's my fault because I have a lot of pencils out, so I picked up the wrong one. But I still like how it turned out. So I didn't want to do anything too crazy for the rest of the mushroom. I'm gonna do something very similar to what I've been doing for like these ones. Just going in with the beige colors and then going over that with the pale sage. I'm gonna start with the peach beige. And I don't even know if this one goes to this mushroom or that mushroom, but I guess it doesn't really matter. Kind of doing them all very similar anyway, so. And it's partially covered up, so. I don't want to spend too long on this part. Quickly going over it, and then pale sage just to bring in the green colors again. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here, but we have more of the kind of under the mushroom exposed on this one. So I'm going to start with peach beige. And just kind of following the grayscale to where it seems like the lines are a little darker and it's a little separated. And beige. But I don't know if any of these mushrooms are, you know, how you would find them out in the wild. But I don't know, I just wanted to use fun colors. And I'm going to go over it all with the pale sage. And then probably just say that's done because it looks good to me. Maybe a little touching up with peach beige. Kind of darkening up the under parts here. Alright, I think all our mushrooms are done until I find some more hiding in amongst all the flowers and leaves and stuff, but I think I got them all. So I think I'm probably going to move on to the flowers because that's like the next big thing in this picture. Okay, I think I got all the mushrooms for this one. I did see one kind of hiding back behind this one here, so I went ahead and just colored it really quick. And I think the next thing I want to work on is the flowers. I have no idea what kind of flowers these are, and I do like some of the colors she chose like kind of the maroon red color. So I think I'm going to use that color, and then that one's kind of a blue and purple, which is really pretty, but it's kind of, you know, I don't know if it has a filter on it, but, or maybe, you know, he just was able to get it to look that cool, but I think I'm going to go with yellow for this one. It may look bad and I may not like it when I get done, but I was kind of messing around with some colors. I got this one a little too purple, and it looked a lot like these purple reddish mushrooms, so I decided to not do that petal, you know, go with those colors. And I was just kind of testing it out in kind of a inconspicuous spot. So I think I'm going to go with this more reddy toned here to kind of match a little bit more of the maroon tones I want. But yeah, that's what we're going to be working on. We pretty much got this all finished up. I did kind of mess around with some greens for the background because I want the background to be green. And we got a flower down here. I think I'm going to do these two yellow and these two red up along here. Just, you know, because I don't want too many colors, and I'm already bringing in quite a few. Like that yellow is pretty bright. But yeah, we're just going to get started and see how it goes. I'm going to be using yellow ochre, beige, lemon yellow, Spanish orange, and goldenrod for this flower. I don't know if I'll use all of them, but kind of the area I was, you know, the colors I was going for. So I'm going to start with probably goldenrod and kind of work my way back from there. Sorry, I'm trying to get organized, but now I made it difficult to get to the pencils, I guess. Okay, so we're going to start with that section of the flower first, and got golden rod, maybe, there we go. Make sure I grab the right colors today. And I'm just taking this and kind of going where it's kind of shaded darker, you know, like it's probably going to be pretty dark in amongst the petals where they kind of meet up. And I'm just going to take this and color those areas there. Try moving the light. It's looking a little shadowy. That's a little better. There was like a big shadow when I was coming into color. I want y'all to be able to see. Okay, so I'm just going to add this to the petal, and they're not huge petals, so you know, it shouldn't take too long to get these flowers done, but there are a lot of them. Okay, yellow ochre. And just doing the same thing, adding this to the mix here to kind of create one that kind of looks like this one, a little bit golden and yellow. I just wanted to add a real nice pop of color. Just working this around the petal. I do like to start with my darker colors most of the time, and especially when doing flowers. It's just kind of my personal preference. I like to map out the shadows first and then work my way out from there. And well, I could put a little more on that. I want that to be pretty dark since it's kind of up under everything here to the side. think I'm not going to put Spanish orange in that because it's already looking pretty orangey colored. So we're going to go in with lemon yellow to bring out the yellow tones, brighten it up a little, and see how it works. Kind of work my way around the edges here. It's definitely a bright yellow color. I might do a little bit of touching up with yellow ochre. Clean it off a bit. So I'm going in with yellow ochre and I'm just kind of lightly, very light wash of this all over the whole thing, just to tone down that lemon yellow a little bit and go from there. And I don't know why I'm saying go from there so much today, but that's okay. I'm really liking that. I think it looks really nice and bright and very sunny. So that's pretty much the process of the petals, and we're going to be doing that over and over again until we have the whole flower completed. And I'll work a few more petals with y'all and then probably move on to the next flower. That way we can get going, you know, because I know this is I can be long-winded sometimes and really take a while. I'm trying to get better about doing that though, to really kind of focus on what we're working on. So we're going to just go back in with goldenrod. And again, just mapping out my darkest color here. Following that grayscale where the shading is the darkest and, you know, adding that. I'm so excited that this one's almost done though. It's been a long one. I don't know. This is probably one of my favorite color alongs I've done, but definitely the one that's taken me the longest. I think I've just been really busy though. It's a lot of that. Okay. Add that. I'm so pleased with how the girl turned out though. I think she looks really cool. It's such a cool book, really. I don't know, I just have really been into coloring her books this year. Oh, okay, I might have forgot which petal I was on. Okay, so I'm working on this one. And you know, you don't have to be perfect with it. I'm just adding the goldenrod, you know, in the areas I think it needs the darker color, and just working my way around. Well, you know, with the partial ones, kind of toward the back of the ones that are barely showing, I'll put a little bit more of this color in there, just to create that separation of the petals Then we'll go in with yellow ochre. Trying to make sure everything's staying in focus. I hope it is. The problem with taking so long in between filming is I kind of get out of the routine and how you set everything up, because it is a little hard sometimes. Okay, I think that should be good. I'm sorry if it's getting out of focus, you guys. Because I want it to be, we ought to be able to see whether you follow along or not. I just love watching the process of a color along. It's so fun to see, from start to finish how it all comes together. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with lemon yellow, give that a sharpen. Maybe move it a little closer. I feel like when I move it far away, it sometimes gets a little out of focus. I think that's good. Okay, sorry guys. I'll stop fussing with the tags. So I'm just taking this in lightly, going over most of those areas we left clear of any color. Going over those. It's the highlight. Just kind of working back over everything, make sure it's all smooth. It's looking really good. I like how it's turning out so far. I didn't really have a plan for the center part of the flower. It's a good question what I'm going to do with that. I do have Spanish orange left over. Maybe I'll go in with that color. And just kind of add that to the middle part here. Kind of circular little dots and whatnot. And I also have beige over here, so we'll just go in with beige, kind of blend it out a little bit. And maybe go back in with Spanish orange. And add a little bit more color back in there. It's not my favorite, but it won't be too noticeable because, you know, it's very similar to the actual flower. Maybe I'll try to go in with like a paint pen, add a little bit of texture to that. Just anything, you know, a little bit orange colored. Add some dots to the center, and maybe it'll kind of break up the colors, make it look a little bit more like the center part of the flower. I think it's looking super cute. I like that. I was nervous with going with the yellow, orange, golden colors. You know, I don't know why I used such a wordy name for that, but you know, that. And so I'm happy with how it's turning out. I think it's very pretty. And that paint pen I used is just a Pen Touch Sakura extra fine point, and I want to say that this is like some kind of ink, permanent ink or whatever, but oops, sorry, but I just picked them up at my Hobby Lobby, and I like using them for little fine details. They didn't come with a lot of colors. I've used them like I think once before, but they only came with like these really bright peachy pink yellow colors here, but they're pretty cool. So I want to work on the stem and some of the leaves, and I'm just gonna do the same process for all of the limbs the flower stems and leaves for the whole thing. I'm not gonna do anything too fancy. I just want it to kind of work together. And so I got some green colors picked out, and I'm just gonna be using 2 green colors for the leaves and the flower stems. It's Lime Pill and Kelp Green are gonna be the 2 I'm gonna use. Just keeping it simple. And I really like these 2 colors together. It's one of my go-to combos for a lot of green things I color. So as always, I like starting with the darker color most times, so I'm going to work on this, and I've already done part of it to kind of see how I liked it, and I thought it turned out real good, so that's the one I'm going to go with. And starting with Kelp Green, we're going to work on, let's start on the leaf here. Here's some kind of, make it darker on the inside, kind of outline. And then lightly bring that color in. Kind of on the outside, I'm going to keep clear for the Lime Pill color. So I'm not going to put too much of that color on those edges. There's some lines, so I'm just following the grayscale and the details to kind of sharpen those up. I don't want to lose them. Almost looks a little droopy, like it's going that way, so try and make it kind of look like it's still doing that. And just kind of bringing that color over everything, using a lot of pressure in the center. And kind of keeping to one side of the stem. Going over this part here. kind of colored that one a little bit when I colored that mushroom, but it's still going over it a little, so it shouldn't look too weird. Kind of go around. And I'm gonna mainly keep to this side of the flower stem with the kelp green. It's the one I want to be a little bit darker than the other side. And then I'm just going to lightly follow that back up and taking that color a little bit closer to the edge, but not entirely covering the entire thing. Okay, then lime peel. And then all I'm going to do is go over everything that I just colored with the kelp green. Bring that contrast in and kind of make it stand out a little bit more, but super easy. Just a simple 2-color combination for some greenery. Not using a whole lot of pressure, but just working my way like back and forth until I'm happy with the colors. And that's all I'm going to do for the greenery parts, like the leaves and the stems. I want it to be all green, but still be a little different than, you know, like right here where I'm going to be doing, that's the colors I'm choosing for the background. But I think they'll work together. And it'll be, you know, I think it'll turn out good, I hope. Always second guessing myself sometimes. And so we got the kelp green, and I'm going to work on this part since this background's done, just to kind of see how it's going to turn out. So this is, I think, part of the flower up here. So I'm going to go under that. Not a whole lot really to work with, it's just like a small glimpse of it, so just kind of adding it. And I am kind of using a lot of pressure for going along that side of the stem, and because I really want it to stand out against the background. So there might have to be a little bit of touching up, you know, as you work everything all together, but there usually is. So I'm going in with lime peel. And that's really all there is to doing those. I think it looks really good. I think now I'll work on the other flower, and then I think after that I might do a little bit of the leaves up here. I assume that's leaves. Yeah, it's kind of how she did it on the cover. And then probably go off camera and finish all the flowers and the greenery, and then we'll work on the background and the ladybugs for the last step, because I keep forgetting that there are ladybugs on here. And I'll probably just go with classic red ladybugs color, black and white. I mean black and white, black and red. So the colors I picked for this is Tuscan red, and then processed red, and they weren't looking red enough. So I'm going to add a little bit of permanent red, and then if I feel like I need to smooth any areas out or tone it down, I'm going to use light peach just to kind of bring in more of a peach color, you know. And it'll end up more like this petal than this one, because I think it was black grape on that one, maybe one of the dark purple colors, and like I said, I think it was a little bit too close to these mushrooms, so I decided not to go with those colors. So we're going to start with Tuscan red. And just doing very similar to how I did the other flower. Adding this in here, separating, you know, the colors as best I can. And just working my way around the flower. So then I'm going to go in with processed red. And kind of picking up where I left off with the Tuscan red. Adding that, a little bit of that pinky red color to it. This one is a little bit more kind of tucked away than the other one, so trying to get to it. And then permanent red. And just very lightly going in with the permanent red. These flowers kind of remind me of mums, but I'm not really sure if that's what they are. But it's probably why I kind of chose a almost fall or, you know, autumn palette type of color scheme. So I'm going to add a little bit of peach in here just to smooth everything out and kind of sharpen up those highlights a little bit, make the contrast a little bit stronger. And I'll probably go in and touch up with Tuscan Red. So I just want to kind of go in and add a little bit more of this in between the petals. And then maybe also kind of smooth that out with the processed red. It probably still does look very similar to the mushrooms, but I think it's different enough to where it's not as noticeable as that one. That one had a little too much purple. Okay, so I'm just going to repeat that process with some more of these petals and kind of work my way around the flower. Let's see, I'll start on this one. These being a little bit darker, I do like to work my way, because over here I kind of worked my way like one pencil at a time, but I think I might do a little, like a few petals at a time, just to kind of see where I'm at, so it doesn't get all, you know, hard to tell what petals what, I guess, confusing. I probably confuse y'all even more sometimes. I try not to. Put a little more of that here. Oops. Some up on that one. And then I go in with permanent red. And just kind of add that. Might go a little bit heavier with the permanent red. I do like that red showing through a little bit more. Maybe go over what I did already a little bit too. But yeah, you know, just kind of work with it till you get it to, you know, where you want it. Till you're happy with your flowers, or, you know, whatever it is you're working on. Just kind of takes a little bit of figuring out sometimes, especially for me it does. I'm just gonna go in with light peach. Smooth it out. I think it's looking really good. I'm excited. We're getting so close to being done with this one. I'm going to be really excited to finish it. A lot of the reason why I haven't been getting a whole lot of coloring done is because, one, work, and then also I've been really starting a couple, well, really one new hobby, which is knitting. I've always wanted to do that, and I've always been a little intimidated to start. So that's been taking a little bit of my time after work. But as always, you know, I always kind of go back to coloring because it is so much fun. I love creating the color alongs for y'all. So I'm just sticking this in there. Trying to kind of figure out what's going on this particular spot here. It's just a really small part of a petal showing, I think, and this one's kind of draped over across it, so go in with permanent red. I think, you know, these are pretty easy to see, so we're gonna work on those too. Sorry, just really kind of concentrating, making sure I'm not getting the wrong thing. Okay, permanent red. Kind of a nice medium pressure going over everything. A lot of these ones are really curved inwards instead of like spread out, like folding out. So they will be a little bit darker along those lines and stuff, just to create that illusion that they are kind of folding inwards. Turning out better than I hoped it would. I really like it. I love coloring flowers. I just don't do it very often because of the repetitive of a flower, but they are so satisfying when you get done with them. They're just so beautiful. Light peach. I've really been trying to, branch out this year. Even though I haven't colored a ton, I've been coloring a little bit more animals and like landscapes, like skies and like the grass and trees, stuff like that. I've been trying to get a little bit more comfortable with doing more than just like coloring people. Even though I think I accidentally got a mark on her face. Oh, that's a panicky moment when you realize you did that. Let me see if I can fix it. Yeah, I got a tiny little mark. It looks like it was processed red, maybe. Let me see if I can kind of go in, fix it up a little bit. It's not the biggest deal, of course, if you do that. I don't want to put too much like red or blush looking stuff on her. I don't want to go in with an eraser because then it'll be textured weird, and I don't know if my erasers aren't very good, but it'll kind of gouge the layers you have laid down already. I think it looks a little less noticeable that I did that, but whoops. Okay, sorry, got a little sidetracked there, but I wanted to fix it before I forgot that I did that. Now, I need to be careful with how I'm, moving these pencils around. Do a little bit of touching up. Okay, I'm going to work on the center of the flower with y'all. Just see how it turns out with this color. So, and I'm going to probably use a little bit more of the yellow tone since this one isn't yellow, or like a golden orange color. So I'm going to try going in with yellow ochre and Spanish orange. See how that looks. Guess I'll go in with yellow ochre first. Just kind of going around the edges here. Oh, sorry. I crapped both those up, sorry. Just going around the edges with that. And then just over top with the Spanish orange. Kind of starting in the center. And I do really like the way it turned out with like the little dots on that. So I'm going to go in with this to add a little bit of texture with that Pen Touch fine tip marker. Just dot it around, just being careful. Maybe add a few more of those over here. I probably should wait because I probably will. Might like scratch a little bit of that off when I go to coloring the rest of it, but just for the purpose of seeing how it looks. I really like it. I think it's really cool. And a lot of these flowers don't have a lot of the stems showing like these do. It's like probably the biggest continuous one on the whole page. But so I want to color this one maroon, and then this one the golden yellow color, just to kind of have that them kind of bringing it up across the page. So I'll probably work on this one for a second, and then also this one, and then I'm gonna just finish all of the flowers and stuff off camera, and then we'll start working on the background and the ladybugs after that. And if you don't have a paint pen for the center of the flowers, a really deep orange color pencil I think would do the same thing with dotting it in the center. Just I didn't think about that, but I'm gonna work on this part of the flower. Same thing, we're just gonna go in with the Tuscan red and kind of go from there. I just wanted to show y'all kind of this is more of the like other side of the flower, kind of like that was. But it's a little bit bigger. So I just wanted to work through a couple of these real quick. And permanent red. Hard to tell. Maybe that's still part of the flower there. And just kind of go in a little bit with light peach. Just go ahead and do most of this one since I already started. And then going in with light peach, just touching up some of the areas. And there might be a few areas I need, once I start, like, you know, kind of maybe missed a little bit of it behind her hair here, but I can always go back in and touch that up as I go. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to work on with the flowers. I will do one more section right here with the leaves, just because that one a little bit different than the ones down here. Similar, but kind of curled in a little bit more, almost like a swirl, I guess. So we'll work on that one before I hop off and finish the rest of it before we work on the background and the ladybugs. I'm still going to be using the kelp green and lime peel for this section here, starting with the darker, the kelp green. I want it to be a little bit sharp because there are some pretty small areas to work on. So I'm just going to pick a starting point, kind of following this leaf here around. Trying my best because some of it's pretty faint, so it's kind of hard to tell, but I'm just following along the line art as best I can. And it kind of branches out from underneath. It almost reminds me of like wallpaper, like leaves or like greenery. So then lime peel. And I'm just gonna basically just go over the whole thing, adding this lighter color on top of that kelp green. And just trying the best I can. And maybe it is supposed to be more like subtle, but I don't know, I kind of like it standing out a little bit more. And then there's just a little bit showing on the other side, but I'll probably just do that off camera. I'm just doing the same thing I did over here, and there's not quite as much of it to do, so it may be a little easier to do on that side. But I'm really liking it. I was unsure at first about doing one of these that color, but I'm glad I did. I like that pop of yellow gold. So I just gotta finish up the rest of this, and then I'll be back and we'll work on the final touches, which is, you know, maybe fixing a few areas if we missed anything, and then also the ladybugs in the background. Alright, I'm back with the colors I want to do for the ladybugs and the background. I'm just going to go with these green colors for the background, because I don't want it to be too different, and I thought they would kind of tie in with the other colors. And I'll probably be using a lot of dark green and then just trying to kind of add in the lighter greens to that. But yeah, I'm going to use dark green, apple green, and spring green for the background. And then I think that should do it for those. I'm trying not to grab like 5 colors for one thing. And also for the ladybugs, I was going to use kind of, I don't know if they'll work together, but it's magenta and permanent red, and kind of see how that goes. But I've finished all the flowers and the greenery, so all we have left to do is the ladybugs in the background. It's been a good minute since I've worked on this, so I had to kind of think about, try to remember what my plan was for it. But I think this will work. I think I'll do the ladybugs first, and then we'll work on the background. I have just a plain old black color for touching up with the ladybugs. I was going to look kind of toward the front to kind of reference to how she did the bodies of the ladybugs, because I wasn't really sure how to do that. And I might have to get a few things, because this one I didn't realize has also the wings showing. So I might have to get maybe like a white and a gray color for that. But yeah, that's what we're going to work on, and then that'll be the end of this color along. I know it's taken me like half the year to finish this one. But yeah, I'm going to get my colors set up, and then maybe go ahead and grab like a blue and gray for the wings on that ladybug. Let's start on this ladybug first. And I'm just going to take permanent red and go over the entire part of its body here. And I'll go back in and touch up the spots later. I don't know if there's more interesting colors to choose from for Ladybug, and I'm sure, you know, you can do whatever color you want. But I just went with, you know, classic red, black colors. And then magenta, deepening those shadows and the contrast of the wing a little bit more. Or, I don't know, I guess that'd be considered like the shell that covers the wings, part of the body, not the wing, but I don't really know. Add a little more of this to it. I'm going to take a little bit more of that along the edges of the wing, or, you know, this part. I feel like when I do a color along, it's just however hours of me saying the wrong words for everything. And then going around the edges here. And just coloring it till I like how it's looking. And then I think I'm just going to go in with white and just blend that together. Going along the edges with the white. In the middle. And so now I'm going to touch up with the black to make those spots more noticeable. And really I'm just nothing special, just going around those areas and making them more visible. And so I guess the main part of the body, when I look back, kinda, I might use a little bit of 20% warm gray with the body also. So I'm gonna start kind of sketching out the body parts, like the head here going around. Following these kind of lines here along the back. And just darkening either side, leaving the middle part free of any color pencil. And I'm trying to do the legs, but I don't know, it might end up looking weird. I don't know if I've ever looked super closely at a ladybug, and I don't really see them when they're flying very much, so I guess I'll make like this a little darker. It looks kind of like their eyes, and then this is kind of kept a little bit more like a really white highlight color, and then just kind of going back over everything. And then I'm going to go in with 20% warm gray and add a little bit more of that color there. Just kind of smoothing out the edges so it's not so one color, you know, when I go in with like the white or something to make a highlight. Okay, so now I'm just going to go in with white, make sure I clean the top of it off because I used that on the red part. And then we'll start here. Just kind of going in the middle. I don't know, these legs probably look really weird, but it's hard to tell what's going on. But I think it looks pretty good. And hopefully it doesn't look like a fly. I don't know. So I'm going to go back in with black and just do a little bit of touching up. I think it looks pretty good. And I want the wings to look a little bit translucent, so I'm going to use cloud blue and kind of start on the edges here of the wing. And it is probably very hard to see, it's kind of faint. But I'm just taking that along the edge. And then maybe kind of towards the beginning, or you know, closer to the body. And just adding this color into the shape of the wing. And then I'm going to take the 20% warm gray and whatever the little kind of vein things that run through like an insect's wings. Just going to go over that. Okay, so I'm going to take white and maybe make sure, again, cleaned off a little bit. I'm just going to go over the whole part of the wing. Just kind of up and down there. Just enough for it to be kind of like there's something there at the same time. Like nothing there. I don't know. To make it look a little transparent, but also, you know, where you can see it. And that's one ladybug down. And I think it looks really cute. It's adorable. I don't think I've colored very many ladybugs, but I might have. It's just been a minute. And so I'm going to go ahead and do this one too. Do one that's not flying around. So we're going to use permanent red first, and I'm just going to color the whole part of the ladybug, adding that color down, going around the black spots as best I can. And then going in with magenta. And so I'm going to keep this closer to the edge. And kind of like, you know, where they kind of separate the part of the body. Do like a thick line down the middle. Back in with permanent red. trying to keep all the spots a similar size, I guess. And then taking that along the edge here, smoothing out those edges. Just doing a little bit of touching up with magenta. Going back around a little bit. And these are so little, they, you know, shouldn't take too long. So I hope I'm not spending a very long time on it. And I'm just going to go in with white and finish up this part of the body. Making my way around the spots. I'm going to touch up a little bit with permanent red. Just want to bring out that red color a little bit, make it a little bit stronger, where it doesn't blend in quite so much with that flower. Okay. And then go back in with black. And I'm just gonna once again bring out those spots. Hopefully, I think I might have got out of the lines a little bit there, but that's okay. It's really small areas to work on sometimes. Okay, and so we're gonna do the head. Just kind of refer back here if I can see how she did it. So I'm just gonna try and outline what she's already drawn here for us. And is there any kind of, yeah, it's got its little legs sticking out. So I'll try and draw those in as best I can. I feel like I struggled most with the ladybugs out of this whole page. So they got little legs here, maybe there's a little one there, and there. We'll make that little area I accidentally got out of the lines with, and kind of do that maybe, and then go in with 20% warm gray, just kind of adding that. And then going back in with white. Are these spots here that are pretty white colored? And that's all I'm going to do for the ladybugs. I'm going to work on this one, and then we're going to start in the background. Okay, I have all the ladybugs done, so now we're going to be working on the background using, I think, just 3 of the greens. The dark green, spring green, or apple green and spring green. And I think I am going to start out with the darkest color, which is most of the time what I go for. And I think I'm just going to try and show y'all, you know, in sections. But I think we're going to start at the bottom here and kind of work our way up. Because I feel like this would probably be a little more shadowy, because everything's kind of probably naturally more shadowy at the bottom part of this. So And then there's also like little circles here drawn in the grayscale that I'm going to, I kind of went over with the spring green and lightened up around those so that way I don't cover them up so much. And then same goes for her dress here. I might go over them a little bit with the, yeah, I got spring green. Just to kind of, you know, make it kind of make sense together. I don't know if this does make sense, but it's kind of how I was thinking I would do it. Okay, and so now I'm going to pick back up the dark green. I'm going to start kind of in this area, adding this to and around the edges, just the empty spaces behind everything. I think the closer I am to her, it's going to be darker, and the further out I get toward the edge, kind of you can see the soft edge that was created with the grayscale line art, and that's what's going to be my lightest color. So that's kind of my idea of how to tackle this background. So I'm going to go around filling in these areas with the dark green. I've already kind of done a little bit in this section, so I can do a little touching up. And as I get closer out, like making my way out, I'm kind of using a little less pressure. I think that's part of that mushroom, so trying to stick to this side of it. And okay, I think that's a good first layer of the dark green. So then next I'm going to go with apple green and just doing it all over again, going over those places I went with the dark green and just trying to smooth it out a little at a time. But I wanted the background to be simple and fun, so, and this one's kind of, you know, almost like a halo effect around her, so it's a less intimidating background. It can be done with probably most coloring pages, and something I don't do very often, but I think it looks really cool when you get done with it. A little lighter as I make my way towards the edge. working my way around everything. But yeah, just taking my time, really blending out those colors. And then I'm going to go back in with dark green. And just kind of, you know, sharpening up the edges. Bringing out those shadows. Just really kind of, you know, working as you go, figuring out where you want more color or less color, and having fun with it, you know. I'm so excited to have this pretty much finished. It's been a page I've wanted to color forever, so it's nice to have that kind of, you know, crossed off your list of things that you want to color. Back over here a little bit. And the areas closer to her can be a little bit darker. That way we really get that gradient as we kind of follow out towards the page. And then going back in with apple green, kind of sharpen it up. And so I'm not gonna do a whole lot of the spring green like on this part of it. I kind of look at it as like 3 sections kind of going around her. And so this section closest to her is going to be darker. So I probably won't put any spring green in that section. So I'm going to go over it with the green apple and smooth it all out. And then add in a little more green apple color toward this kind of middle section here. And we're getting closer to the edge where I'm pretty much going to be using a lot more of the spring green, which is our lightest green color. I originally wanted to go with like a muted color for the background, like almost like the mushroom here, but then I thought it was too similar to the mushroom, so then I wanted to go with more of a brighter green color. And so far, I mean, I haven't compared it up against that mushroom yet, but I really like it with the other elements of the page. It's looking really cool. Okay, so we're getting closer to the edge of kind of where that faint grayscale line is stopping. So I'm getting a little bit lighter with this color as I go. Okay, so finally I'm going to go in with, oh no, I think I might have been using spring green the whole time, and that's okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I accidentally grabbed the wrong one. So I'm going to go in with the real apple green this time. I get a little bit too into what I'm doing, and then I forget to make sure I have the right green pencil in my hand. So I'm going back in with the real apple green, not the spring green. And you know, it really doesn't matter how you do it. You can play around with the colors and figure out what you want as you go. But I kind of want to add this back into here. Just a little bit more on this kind of in-between section. I was thinking it was really light, but they are very similar colors. But the spring green has got a lot more of a like yellow tone to it, so that's a little bit different. And silly of me to grab the wrong one and not realize it. I'm telling y'all, I'm a little out of practice with these color alongs. I have been not doing so good. I need to get back into it because I love doing them and they are really fun, but it takes a little bit to get, you know, back into the groove of it. And I think after this I'm gonna start another color along and hopefully stick with it a little bit more and not take forever and ever to finish it. But we'll see. I've been super busy, so it's been hard to balance it. So I think I finally like that a little bit better with the little bit medium tone green, which is that apple green. And so now I'm going to go in with spring green and start kind of picking up along the edge here and going back and forth to kind of create that lighter outside part. And maybe kind of use the side of the pencil too, just to ensure that, you know, it's a really light color. And if you want to go back in with like a really light yellow color to just very faintly go over this edge, I might do that just to kind of really lighten that up and make it look just a little bit more of like a glowing effect, to bring out, you know, those like little contrasts. I'm just going back and forth and around. Kind of go around here towards the bottom. Maybe using the side of the pencil a little bit more. Okay. So I think I am going to find a light yellow pencil. I think neon yellow might be kind of what I had in mind as far as, you know, what color to use. Let me find the tag for it. If I have one. Yellow, lemon yellow. I don't know where these run off to. Okay, there it is. So neon yellow. I'm going to use this to soften the edges of the green colors. It should be like a really bright, whoa, that is brighter than I remember. Really bright yellow. And let's kind of work on the bottom here and see how we like it, and then maybe add it to the rest. I don't want to use a whole lot of pressure, just the smallest amount of pressure. And just kind of skirting around the edges here. I think that really is adding a little something to it, and so that's what I'm going to go in with to kind of finish up the background. And I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time smoothing out the texture because I kind of do like the effect that's making. So I'm just going to lightly finish up using the neon yellow, going back and forth with that. Yeah, I think that's looking good. I feel like it's not, it just needed a little bit of softening around the edges. You can use the side of the pencil. venture out a little bit further from that edge, but not too much. And work your way back into the green, just going up and down the sides here, side to side. Okay, I think that bottom part's done. I like how it turned out. It looks really cool. That's kind of how I pictured it, which I couldn't really tell what they did because it's kind of partly colored, partly not. Oop, don't tear my paper. So I'm just gonna finish up this side to kind of show y'all, and then off camera I'm probably gonna do the same thing over here, and then I'll hop back on. Maybe we'll do a few finishing touches, and I'm not really sure if there's anything really to finish up, but we'll take a look around and see. But yeah, I'll stop blabbering about that and get back up over here with the dark green color. And I want it to not be as dark as I made it down here. I'm gonna go really lightly in with the dark green around her head. And there's some areas where you can kind of see through her hair, so I'm gonna add that dark green in there also, like in the little areas here, and just kind of work my way over. Since this is kind of the top, I'm not gonna do as heavy with the dark green color, so I'm using a really light hand with it. Especially towards the top of her head. Okay, and then I'm gonna actually grab apple green and not spring green. Can't believe I did that. And then I'm going to just add that around everything. I really don't think I colored her like collar, but it actually doesn't look that bad. It may be kind of breaking a coloring rule to not color that, and just leave it white. But I think I'm gonna do it. I don't know, it just looks good. So, and it has that grayscale already, just slightly, so I think we can get away without coloring the collar, unless you want to color it like a different color. But I planned on coloring mine white. Okay, so I'm getting towards the top of her head. I'm gonna lightly go in with the green apple. I'll just take it all the way around. It's probably going to be the lightest part of the whole page or the whole background. And then I'm going to grab spring green and just kind of pick up where I left off. We'll start at the top here. Gonna go around her head. Okay, so then I like the way that's looking so far. And I'm probably just going to go in with neon yellow and just start kind of blending out the edges to kind of make it look a little bit more brighter. And I'm just going to start around her head here. Very lightly using this color. Again, barely putting any pressure on it. Just working my way around. But this part is a little time consuming. So, you know, I'm just taking my time. And I'll probably just show you all this half and then do the other half, like I said, off camera. But I feel like this is the fastest I've ever been with coloring a background before, so I'm not complaining too much. And hopefully it doesn't look weird because it's not the whole thing. But I'm trying to bring out that yellow a little bit more so it's not quite so, I guess, kind of shaped like an egg or something. And I might have to go in with spring green again to kind of help with that. might use a little bit of the edge of the pencil. I think I'm going to go back in with spring green, do a little bit of touching up. And I think that's all I'm going to do on this side of the background. Just kind of adding a little bit of this back in there. Sharpen that one. Alright, I think that is all I'm going to do on this side of the page. I'm going to finish this one, but I really like how that has turned out. I think it looks really cool, and I'm excited to finally have this page done. But I'm going to work on that, and then I'll jump back on here and we'll kind of do a little bit of touching up, maybe add a little bit of brighter colors in, and kind of sharpen some edges up, make sure they look clean. But I'm going to do that and then I'll be back. Finally finished this page and I couldn't be more happy with it. I love how it turned out. I really love her hair, and it was just a lot of fun working on this page, even though it took me several months. But I'm super glad that I'm done now and can finally get the second part of the color along out for y'all. But yeah, I really am happy with it. I feel like that was the fastest I've ever done a background before, and it was just kind of, you know, creating that like gradient effect with the green colors. And at first I was a little unsure if I liked the shape, but it's kind of, I was just kind of following along with the grayscale that she had for the background. Was kind of my, you know, guide. So I was just kind of following that along, and I think it actually looks really good. I didn't know if I should have like squared it off a little more, but then again, it's really cool. It kind of looks like an archway or something. And if I was a little bit more confident and talented, I would do like a golden frame or something. That would be really cool. Maybe I could find like some like washi tape to kind of put around it, but even then I don't know if I would do a very good job. But yeah, another color along finished. I'm super happy that I finally got to do a color along in this Ladies of Leisure book by Zan Von Zed. She's one of my favorite artists. I love all her books that she has out, and probably will be doing another color along in this for too much longer, hopefully. Although I might be, you know, thinking that I'm gonna do another color along and hopefully not take several months to finish it like I did this one. But yeah, this is the finished page. Thank y'all so much for watching. I had a lot of fun doing this page, even though it, you know, like I said, it took me a minute. I really enjoy coloring the hair and doing the clothes and, you know, things like that. I think they are so uniquely drawn. So it's really fun to color them, and it's the first time I've ever done that color hair before too. But yeah, this is the end of this video, and thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, bye y'all.